charismatic French bulldog Hank will be waiting for him at home and he'll be saying, woof, 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 woof.
Very lucky he didn't do the first hour because he could have quite literally been a fish out of water, but thankfully for Nemo, he knows how to navigate these conditions.
Their usual thing and going tits up, but we've got 6 hours, that's right, 6 hours to go here, and we're only on lap
Not
1.
too far away from Immortal Nick, but Immortal Nick right behind Vert Wheeler here, but Vert Wheeler still got to do that mandatory pit stop.
You can see there Vanessa enjoying this. She goes, "Oh, you're so brilliant and funny," and she absolutely loving that stream over there at 7 a.m. and this guy down there side by side with Random, and then it's Hoot Corp. Look at this down Kemmel Straight, Prince, as the team radio beeps are coming in, flying under the radar. Welcome to you, and it's so close. Is there going to be contact? Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you're watching right around the world. Kid Buyers Racing League, otherwise known as KRL for short, is back for another week. Round 5, might even be round 4 here of Season 6 at the Red Bull Ring, formerly known as the A1 Ring, and before that known as the Austin Riken Ring. And as there we go, as Abdul has joined us. Hello, he says, along with 2 Minute Noodles. And Hainsey says, Daddy Byers. Mrs. B will be wondering what on earth's happening there. Glasso, g'day Cunnies, he says. And how good is that? And vote for Nick to be pro, says Hainsey, as he's at the top of the timing sheets, as I welcome the one and only man from the Downs. I speak of Jason Wilkinson. Round 4, Jason, and we're at the Red Bull Ring this week. What are your thoughts? First of all, welcome to you. What are we expecting to see here tonight?
Hello, hello. Yes, we are back for another week, another Wednesday night GT2s here at the newest. Well, actually, no. I was going to say the newest track in the game, but no, that's the Nords. I forgot that the Nords come out so quickly for the console boys, but this is one of the newer tracks. They only come out about a month or two ago now, the Red Bull Ring. So yeah, pretty cool track. Obviously, most of us are probably used to GT or F1, but wrestling a GT2 car around here is quite fun because yeah, most of the time you would be running no TC, so makes that those traction zones out of turn 1, turn 2, turn 3, and then pretty much that little middle sector there quite interesting. But at the moment we're looking like a low 29 is the GO at the moment, with probably looking with you guys like Noodles, Hainsey, Norm. There's only 4 pro guys tonight, so we definitely could see a Nick or a Vibesy sort of get up and have a win. But yeah, probably looking at maybe high 28s, mid 28s. I haven't really been on to see what times we're chasing for, but normally the pros go a good half a second faster than the pro-ams.
As you can see there, 29.2 we're sitting on this circuit. One of the shortest, not the newest, we know that, of course, it's the Nords, as Abdul says Nords, inserting eggplant and squirting emojis. Bit of a sexual nature to those, but we understand where you're coming from there, Abdul.
No, he just likes to eat some eggplant and have some glass of water when he's driving in the Nord. That's all that means.
As David Greco 10... David Greco says, Nick for El Presidente. And there we go, Hainsey, vote for Nick to be pro. And then for some strange reason, I said vote for Nick to get a DNA test to see if Kid Byers is really the daddy. The kid is not my son. and Vibesy there, vibing along with David Greco. Close for the Am boys. It is very close indeed, as there's Vibesy. David Greco, hope you're following out there. Wherever you're watching from, Nick for president.
Is that the David Greco, the
I think
handling designer? Hello, welcome.
Yes, he was the guy from Codemasters, wasn't he, back in the day?
I think it still might be there.
Doing all the handling and stuff for the F1 game. But hello, if you are that David Greco, unless there's 9 other David Grecos out there, it is the 10th one. But this qualifying session, they should know the drill by now, Wilco, shouldn't they? We've got a split quali format, 22-minute session. First 10 minutes is Pro-Am and Am drivers only. When the clock strikes 12, you need to finish your lap and return to the pits. When it hits 10, the pro drivers come out to play, and something or other, the laser eye surgery is still healing. I can't read whatever that says, but I know there's a 60-minute race coming up as Machen watching from Switzerland, and so he'll be staying neutral tonight, David Greco.
What? That's differently? Oh, no, sorry, I thought you Machen was watching from Switzerland, sorry, yes.
As we're voting for, as the clock's about to strike 12, so these boys have got to finish their lap. David Greco watching from Switzerland, unfortunately not the game designer. There we go, he's confirmed it for us. Well,
we like you better anyway.
Yes, exactly, the way that game's going.
That's what he comes on, so no, I actually am.
You can pay $149 for the Diamond Deluxe version and get access to the 23 liveries in the 23 game. Won't that be great? You can just do it on PC in 5 seconds, just changing your PNG files.
That's a long sound clip.
Anyway, so Smitty, what's Smitty doing now? Oh, Smitty getting a bit sideways through the Rint curb there. The Rint curb, the Nicky Lauda curb, and all of the other. There's only 10 of them on this circuit as the wags are flaving and the flags are waving. There might be some wags around here, but Craigo there into the pits, and now we're waiting for the big guys to come out and play, of course, the pro drivers I speak of. And what are the standings here? Let's just have a look at the standings. I think Noodles might be leading the championship, isn't he, Wilco?
Yes, he is.
Simon was not around last week, was he?
No, and he's not around tonight. It's quite a late night in New Zealand. Of course, it's 10 p.m. Oh, it's 10:15 at the moment, but 10 p.m. by the time quali starts. So, yeah, it's sort of the unfortunate thing that Australia's a big place and New Zealand's 2 hours ahead of us, so we can't start any earlier because the guys in WA don't get the... they'll be there. It's 6 p.m. at WA, so it's a nice 4 hour swing. So I think 8 p.m. is the best.
Can you let your mum in?
Mum's on her way.
Yeah.
Can you turn the heater off too? I'm sweating my ass off in here. I'm serious. I'm sweating up.
Trev's obviously muted his mic, but I can still hear
turn
him.
it down. I'm so hot in here. Like,
here come the pro guys.
I've got.
I'll repeat.
I've got to go.
Sweating my ass off, Trev. That's literally what I'm just hearing.
I'm sorry about that. I thought that was on mute. But there we go. It's midday in Switzerland. And he's not a man to take sides, is he? But big hello to David Greco. Oh, I've got hiccups now, as boy, it's really going off now. And I've forgotten that we can't talk to Voodoo either. But big hello to Chuck Norris out there. But the 29.22s, the hiccups coming back as just having a look here. What are our tips for pole position here, Wilco? Are we thinking Hainsey might come good, or?
Well, it depends how much practice Hainsey has been doing. He calls himself a Bathurst specialist. So we'll see if he likes the Red Bull ring. I'm sure he's Red Bull ring on GT7. I'm sure one of the guys in the comments will let us know. If it is, yeah, if it is, then it's obviously a track he does know. So we'll see how it goes. Of course, I've done the BOP for GT2s myself, and I assume the KTM is a little bit slower. Like, I know it's a little bit slower on the straight, so I've not given them 30 kilos. I think they're down to maybe 10 kilos extra. So they should be a little bit quicker. But yeah, as we've seen in the past, the BOP's been pretty good. As you can see, you've got Maserati on pole at the moment with a Merc 1/10 behind. So we'll see what these boys do. We got, as I said, Noodles, Norm, Someone Awesome, and Hainsey out on track. So we may as well maybe jump on board with one of each guys. We actually have rain. Holy crap. We have rain in 30 minutes, which means we're going to have a wet race.
And this is going to be a massive turn up for the books. As Greco says, it is midday here. So good, your commentary. Thank you for that, David Greco. So sorry, guys, forgot the rule of no overtaking on the outlap. Beaky is a naughty boy, and he'll be getting a slap on the wrist. We might have a look at somebody. So I'm not sure who we're with at the moment. We're in a Maserati, I know that much. And we'll have a quick look here. We'll get rid of the viewers and the chat there. Who we, Smitty, slap away, Trev says Beaky, as we're on board with Noodles, and this man is a consummate professional. So let's have a look at what he can do. He's 1.2 up on this lap, Jason Wilkinson.
Yeah, so I think this will be his actual first lap, so we'll see how that actually ends up, because yeah, these GT2 cars come out with cold tyres. So Hainsey goes up to third. Noodles, doesn't matter about cold tyres, still goes up to a 28.9 in first. It could be a 2-minute Noodle night tonight, boys.
As we take a look at Hainsey on his lap, slap away, Trev says Beaky. And I said, stop it, Beaky, you naughty little devil you are. As David Greco says, I'm supporting the Trash Talk crew, Nick, Chipper and Aaron. So, wow, he is wasting no time nailing his colours to the mast. And that is really Sea of Thieves kind of talk there. And that really shows you that I spent a lot of time in the crow's nest, of course. But looking down here at Hainsey now, as down into the ranch corner, or whatever it's called, turns 4 and 5, then 6. The end of Sector 2, tight, sharp circuit this one. And he's up by 5/10 here, Wilco. I reckon he's going to easily go quicker, is he, than a 29.5 at the moment?
Yeah, he'll have to find 6/10 just to pip him. To pip Noodles, but let's see if he sends it through these last two corners. He's got TC off, so as we said, the GT2s, you can afford to run no TC on some of these cars. So he's got TC off, Noodles has TC on 1. So here's 6/10, or he just dropped a little bit. Is he still going to make it on the first position? No, missed it by that much.
Close. What about Noodles? Oh, is he gone to first? Oh no, sorry, he had that lap, didn't he? 28.9 at 1.5. And he might have invalidated his lap here, Wilco. Did he run a little bit wide there on that occasion?
Yes, both of them did. But here comes Someone Awesome across the line. Jumps up to third, 29.2. So let's maybe jump on board with Mr. Norm, Naughty Norman. Where is he? Here he is. So he's a 10th up now. Let's look at the top speed, 251. Let me quickly jump back to Someone Awesome in the Maserati. He's rolled out of it, so I can't see his top speed. But yeah, I just want to keep an eye on the top speed tonight, because that Merc, as I said many times this series, they that Merc has 700 horsepower, so it is a rock on the straights. So that's actually, normally it runs about minus 20 kilos, it's actually gone up to minus 10, so it's got an extra 10 kilos on it. It's still a bit of a boat, but it should have some straight line speed.
As we take a look now, a naughty Norman, bit of a snap of oversteer there. Exo saying someone awesome is firing up. And this man is up by 5/10 on this lap, a tick over 4 minutes remaining in this session. Let's have a look at what he can do through the final couple of corners. The Rint corner turns 9. It's easy to just run out too wide here. Very circumspect, approaching turn 9 into turn 10 now. Let's see what he can do. He's up by 7, almost 8/10 of a second. And how good's this going to be? He comes across the line, 6th position there for naughty Norman Price as we head back. 28.9, Hainsey in 2nd. And yellow flags out. No, that's just in the pit lane, of course. And who else is on a quick lap here? We've got Norm having another go, Wilco, I believe, or we got Craig. No, they're all in the pits, aren't they? But someone awesome still out on the circuit, looking to go quicker. And Nismo says, please, for the love of God, I just do not want to crash. Well, can someone please tell the boss, how good were those shots on social media as well over the weekend from that race in Pukekohe, Akatauki, over there, that fundraising event.
Hampton Downs, I think it was.
Yes, in Invercargill. And a clean race will be a win in my books, says Nathan, the boss of Hooncore B Sports. No, but a great event over there in Aitataki. Might have spent a week in Aitataki as well, just off the Cook Islands many years ago. But no, less than 3 minutes to go in this qualifying session. And very good of the boss to join us here this evening. Oh, that's a good camera angle, that one, right across the top of the visor and the lens. There you can see 2.5 minutes left. One of only 2 cars out on the track, as Exo has been good enough to let us know that he's got his lucky socks and jocks on. Let us know what colour they are. And not really into looking at pairs of men's socks on camera. Unless they're...
unless it's someone that rhymes with... I can't, my brain's not working.
Unless it rhymes with Matthew Simmons and they're custom made and they have pictures of your dog on them, then it's a different story. In fact, I think I've just said his name as rather than what it would rhyme with. Let's think of names that rhyme with Corey. Story. And there we go, the Corey Hotline. And there we go. As 90 seconds to go, though, can we get a little bit serious here, please? As Ad to Many says, no socks, matching undies. And there we go. I'm wearing neither. As no, just kidding. I'm wearing the top part. But anyway, Norm there. As boy, look how close this is. 3/10. Oh, team radio. Oh, it's just Jimbo doing it. That's what he does best, isn't it? But suck my balls, honey. And with a minute to go, it is very close. And once again, Norm, is he going to go quicker on this lap?
So, I'm not sure, but you just spoke about, wearing just the top, and straight away Andrelli goes, bang, commentary cam. So it's just to prove that point.
Yes, that...
So quickly put the slacks on.
Let me just get myself decent here for a second. Sorry, Andrelli. What is it with Andrelli trying to redeem points and whatnot? I tell you what. And let's just have a look here as 30 seconds to go. Noodles 28.8, Jason. What on earth is happening there? That is a
He's just done a 28.8. That's what happens. So he's looking good. Norm up to P2, 29.0. He's currently half a tenth up. So it's out of Norm and someone awesome are the only 2 cars that can improve, because the other boys are pulled into the pits. So someone awesome's up by a tenth, so that would put him to a 29.0 at this stage. But let's go on board with, I can watch Mr. Norm, who's just pulled out of it. So he's a safe driver, and we'll go to someone awesome who is currently... Oh, he was 2 tenths up. He just had a bit of wheel spin coming out of that corner. So currently he's half a tenth down. Can he send it through these last few corners to make up 3 tenths?
As we're looking to make up 3.575 something tenths of a second here.
And he's off.
And he's off the track. And you can see there, Andrelli, I hope you're happy. There he is, ooh la la. As up Periscope, we need to see it. Yes, we need to see me. And Jimbo Jones saying we need to get a Wilco commentary cam. And there we have it.
That'll be hard because I'm not wearing any clothes.
Oh, and it gets very cold in Campton Downs this time of the year because so probably best if you did put some clothes on. But we'll get back to the racing.
I like how you just merged where I live and where Voodoo lives.
Keeps them guessing.
Campton.
As there we go. As Noodles, you did say it was a 2-minute Noodles night, and no surprises there. He's taken pole position by just under 0.2 of a second. Jason.
Yeah, so a 1 minute 28 Noodles tonight we're looking at, and Norm having a good quali, only just under 0.2 behind, but here we go. We've got some rain. Rain's going to increase in 10 minutes, and then it's going to, no, I did say it was going to decrease, but it's going to be heavy rain for pretty much this whole race here, so it's going to shake it up, and when Voodoo's ready to commentate on it, he's going to love some wet weather.
That would be fantastic. And we are going to introduce our man, the Nigerian Prince, all the way from South Australia. This will be interesting, says Will I Am. Ooh la la to you too, Andrelli. But it's about time we introduced the man, of course, who can tie his shoelaces with his feet. He's just that good. I speak of the Nigerian Prince. Welcome to you, Chuck. We're throwing to you 3 minutes early, but good evening to you.
Yeah, good evening, everybody. Hope you're all doing well. Sorry, I'm just been working on some things behind the scenes. I'm very excited to share a lot of this with you guys too. But yeah, it's very moist out here. You know, that old saying, you know, I can rub two pieces of wood together and somehow manage to make fire. You know, maybe the spectators might need a little bit of warmth out here, but yeah, this is going to be interesting going into T1.
Certainly is. We might take a quick break from our sponsors. And that's a spanner in the works. I'm sure Hainesy's doing that DNA test, of course, Ancestry DNA, to make sure that I'm not his father. And Mrs. B, we won't let her hear about that. But we're off to a sponsors break. We'll be back with round 4 of this championship, the GT2s and KRL, in just a few moments. Stay with us. Charismatic French bulldog Hank will be waiting for him at home and he'll be saying, woof, 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 woof.
Very lucky he didn't do the first hour because he could have quite literally been a fish out of water, but thankfully for Nemo, he knows how to navigate these conditions.
We've got 6 hours, that's right, 6 hours to go here, and we're only on lap 1.
Not too far away from Immortal Nick, but Immortal Nick right behind Vern Wheeler here, but Vern Wheeler still got to do that mandatory pit stop.
You can see there Vanessa enjoying this. She goes, "Oh, you're so brilliant and funny," and she absolutely loving that stream over there at 7 a.m. And this guy down there side by side with Random, and then it's Hoot Corp. Look at this down Kemmel Straight, Prince, as the team radio beeps are coming in, flying under the radar. Welcome to you, and it's so close. Is there going to be contact? Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and that's right, Maxi Naked Blade, our proud sponsor. It is raining. This will be Noodles' first race in ACC, first wet race in ACC, as Maxi Naked Blade coming in with the 5 Tier 1 subs to David Greco, Drift, H something or other, Someone Awesome, and De Pruz, which sounds a little bit South African, doesn't it? For the De Pruz, Faf, Oscar Faf du Plezuz, and Oscar something or other is Cloquet there as well, joining us. And boy, how good is this as we go to the track preview with thanks to our great man Andrelli, our good friend and ours, and we are at the Red Bull Ring in Austria. And in Austria, of course, would you believe it, 10 corners and a little bit over 4 kilometres long, only 10 corners here as we zoom in, and the hills will be alive, won't they, with the sound of GT2 cars here. Turn 1, the Castrol Edge, as the long corner which through turns 2, heading towards turn 3, but turn 2 no more than a little kink in the road really, as like we said, 10 corners here, 3 sectors of course, like most circuits there, down to turn 4, very interesting braking zone that one. And then we continue the lap, turns 5, turn 6, the Pirelli corner, and heading up towards turns 9 and 10 at this Red Bull Ring, formerly the A1 Ring, and the Ostenreich Ring before that here in Austria. So there we go, rain continuing to fall, fellas. Jason, I'll start with you. What are you thinking when you're about to start a race and the conditions are as treacherous as this? Is it just about getting off the line cleanly and everybody getting away safely?
I'm thinking what a glorious bit of weather this is. I love the rain, and yeah, give me more. But no, it's going to be quite tricky. These boys should have got enough temp in the tyres, but of course, if you do actually look on the top, it says rain quickly. That 30 minutes, how quickly it transitions to no rain, that'll be the big sort of key, because if you've only filled up the car for half a race and then you end up doing more. But anyway, let's talk about after the race. Call the race start, please, Trev.
We shall do just that. Here we go. 20 plus drivers in treacherous conditions here at the Red Bull Ring. Green light, go, go, go. Race control gets us underway. As you can see, they all stream into turn 1 here. Oh, that's interesting. Look like Hainsey there having a look down the inside, but Norm leads it through turn 1 and gets ahead of Noodles there, does he? The race is on through heading towards turn 2, up towards turn 3, and you can see here they are neck and neck, aren't they? But Norm has his nose in front, Hainsey as well, and it seems like everyone's got away cleanly there as the timing sheets just correct themselves, as we've got 60 minutes of racing action here. And you can see Nick as well, but it is Norm, Noodles behind him, and Someone Awesome there, in fact, is into second place now, Jason, ahead of Noodles, who hasn't done a wet race on ACC, we've learnt.
Yeah, so I'm just watching the back of the pack, and I'm not going to say it until we get through the first lap, but the boys are going okay. A couple of people run off the track. I think they might be just too hot into that downhill braking with wet tyres, but yeah, so you reckon we got Norm, who's going to be very hard to pass now, and Someone Awesome snuck the third. So Noodles he doesn't like the soggy noodles. He likes them dry. He likes a fried noodle. I think that's what.
Ah, yes, the old tempura style, as you can see there as we come through lap 1, to complete lap 1, I should say, 90 seconds into this race, and Norman Price there, as Maxi says, never was, never will be. When I said stop being a legend. Spill the beans, Jason. Would you start a wet race with a full tank? Sniper wants to know, and he wants you to spill the beans as we're onto a level 2 hype train. Toot toot! And would you start a race with a full tank of fuel, Jason, in these conditions?
If you saw the rain going minus quick enough, then yeah, you probably would, because you would gamble on doing a late stop, doing your only pit stop for tyres at the end, if it does happen to dry out. If not, then the tyre wear on the wet tyres isn't too bad, so you should be able to go the full hour even anyways. But yeah, if you were quick enough to see that little minus, and I'm not sure, maybe the minus wasn't there in that pre-race timer, but if it did, you would definitely run full tank to try and make sure you can get to when the rain stops. You only do one stop for the race, where if people that have got half a tank of fuel in, which you would do for the dry, you're good. Potentially could do two pit stops. One to get fuel in the car, which is get through to your mandatory stop, and then you'll probably do one to put on the dry tyres if it does end up drying out in the next 57 minutes.
As the hype train has completed Chipperton, and JJ Norms here. Here's a little interesting little battle here. You can see there JJ in, of course, a separate class to Chipperton. Jimbo there as well with Nismo, who just wanted to get the race done cleanly without any incidents. And choo-choo, I choo-choo choose you, as that hype train has been completed. Thank you to everybody for the contributing the subs and gifts. Of course, I speak of Maxi Naked Blade there, and our pre-race show brought to you by the great Maxi Naked Blade, who just slides into our gifted subs, doesn't he? And he doesn't like too much fanfare about it. But, oh, is that Nismo having a go there at someone? No, I beg your pardon, but geez, it is close. Close further down the field, as we've got Sniper coming in and saying, watch out for Shawnee Fuller. This man loves a wet race, Jason, and he's just ready to pounce.
Yeah, well, he did start last. He's already up to 10th, so he's going all right so far, the old boy. Cars around at, where's that? Ernie Drongo's letting someone back through. There might have been an incident out of turn 1, but I'm not sure. But yeah, Norm's streaking away at the moment.
He certainly is.
Noodles up the inside of Hainsey.
Noodles up the inside of Hainsey. So is Hainsey slowing down? I'm not too sure, but boy, Norm, he has checked out big time, hasn't he, at the front there? That is incredible. We're only a couple of laps in, 3.6 seconds or so in front. So that is fantastic work from Norman Price there. You can see him streaking off into the distance, but the battle still continues. Second, third, fourth, fifth and sixth all together. Nick is up there as well in a different class, but mixing it with the big boys. I speak of none other than the pro drivers. No overtaking on the outlap of Quali. What am I reading that for? Because Beaky fell foul of that rule, didn't he? Boy, this stuff just gets sent through to me, and I just start reading it, and boy, it's hard. I don't know how everyone else copes with trying not to slip into a New Zealand accent. Really difficult for me. But 5 minutes in, Nick holding his own with the big boys, and we will keep an eye on Shawnee Fuller and Maxi Naked Blade. Will I Am, everybody watching there. Jimbo Andrelli as well for redeeming the commentary cam. But Hainsey then, Nick, someone awesome, Vibesy in P6, sideways Polka, Crago, and we're still seeing some close battles here. And is this rain, is it getting heavier, Jason, or is it just staying steady in the next 30
It will
or
get
so?
heavier, yeah, so the next 10 minutes it's going to get heavier before it eases off 30. But as I said, we're not sure, and the drivers won't know too, if that rain minus 30 just goes from, which I think this is classed as medium rain, will drop it to light rain, or it could be saying minus rain and it could actually just completely stop. If it does stop, that means that would happen in, well, it's still saying 30 minutes, so yeah, it'll be touch and go. If that changes to a different symbol, then we'll get some potentially some drier weather at the end of the race.
As you can
It'll
see,
be exciting.
It's going to be exciting. That's what we want. As Mrs. B, who is also a VIP, has joined us, and I don't know why she's just randomly come in with the Dr. CS. Oh, Dr. CS. And thank you for that, Mrs. B. Bit of a Simpsons reference there. And yes, how fantastic is that? Great to have Mrs. B with us. And of course, these streams go for 2 hours, Mrs. B. But it's still good to have you jump in, leave 2 comments, and then go again. But it still adds to the excitement of this. And you've joined a very, very wet race. And with 7 minutes into this one, 4 laps down, Hainsey and Kaima saying nobody likes you. Not sure whether that's really necessary there, Mrs. B. But just remember, including me, she says, well, is this because I turned the TV off in the lounge room before I started tonight to save some internet download speed? Yes, it is. And there we go. Boy, and where is Voodoo when I'm getting this sort of treatment in the real world? But there we go. As you've been banned, Mrs. B. So there we go. But we're going to focus on this racing action here. And you can see further down the field, we've got a couple who have come into the pits, Jason. Is that just to get rid of some damage or something? And just get into the pits there? Because I think 3 guys have made trips to the pit lane. And it seems that Ernie Dingo's in there as well.
Yeah, potentially it was either that or they were just getting out of the spray, because it is quite hard to see when you're behind a car because the spray is very thick. But we've just had the +10 rains disappeared now, so we should. I mean, again, it'd be awesome if we see. Haynes nearly had a spin there. It'd be awesome if we do see this rain click over in the next 5 or so minutes to go to cloud and just have it dry up, because then it would be a dry line forming. It'll be when do you actually make the pit stop, and that's probably the best part about a wet to dry race, because that is where you have the guys going to take that extra lap or two to cook up their tyres, but get get the track being better for when they put on the dryers and not going to grain them up.
So plenty to play out here. Nick right up behind Hainsey here in towards turn 3. Peace says Mrs. B, thanks for joining us. That's your 3 minutes done. And I think you might have been timed out for some of that as well. But Red Bull driving experience there. That'd be interesting, wouldn't it, around this circuit? Wouldn't be as good as Monza, of course. Some of us have been around there in a Porker for real life. And still, gee, it's going to be hard to relive that day. And still cannot believe that September the 30th, 2023, Jason drives around Monza, and Collingwood wins the grand final by less than a kick. You won't get that every day, but guys, yes, I am a world champion. Leave me alone. I know what to do. And 50 minutes remaining. Noodles 4.6 seconds further back. Are we seeing a noodle train or not? No, we're not, are we? Because there's a little bit of a gap there back to Hainsey, but Hainsey and Nick. There's been talk of Nick going into the pro class. Is there any truth in these rumours, Jason?
Yeah, I think there would be, and I was meant to do that over the weekend, but I was quite busy, so didn't get a chance to shuffle some classes around, but this gives me extra data to make the decisions that need to be made.
That's not data you want to be seeing there, because someone awesome is facing the wrong way on the start-finish line. And how's he going to get around here, Wilco? Let's have a look. The old...
Austin Powers?
Yep, there we go. And he's got it back. But that's going to cost him big time, isn't it, there? And he's going to drop away from the leading pro pack. And you can see he's let someone else through there. As Andrelli is through. But just running a bit wide there, Wilco, especially in these conditions. There's no grip out there, is there? And he's just made a slight mistake there, and it's cost him dearly.
Yeah, that's one thing the Valencia endurance round was quite hard on, because that painted stuff, tyres and water don't really go together on that stuff, and you just end up skating. So grasses are the same, but if everyone looks up to the weather icon on the top right there, light rain in 30 minutes. So you're going to keep getting less and less, but definitely light rain would, the pace will pick up when that hits. And it won't be, if it stays light rain, it won't be dry enough for slicks, but if we get that cloud flick over to just a nice cloud or even a little bit of sun, definitely would be a bit of a gamble towards the end, which could be exciting.
And that's what it's about as my voice decides to break after 6 years or so of doing this stuff. And, I love Victoria, Warney. And there we go, 48 minutes remaining. And 7 laps completed now, 4.3 seconds is the gap back to this man in Noodles. Is that somebody between them? Is that a lapped car?
Yeah, Mayo, Mr. Mayo, who's done his pit stop.
Mr. Mayo, we can see you lurking out there. Consider following the stream if you haven't already. We hit the 350 follower mark, and that is going to be fantastic as well. If we can get to 360 odd as Noodles and Mayonnaise. And he's made his pit stop, Mayo, but he's well and truly down the field, and a tough place there, but he's got out of the way, not getting involved here. It is a short lap, isn't it, Wilco? So these guys will be coming around to get laps, some of the slower guys, very, very quickly. But it's not about how slow you're going. It's about how quick you can go, which is pretty much how it works in the sport of racing in general. But you can see there's still plenty of rain around, though, and I think we're going to light rain in the very near future there, but the track condition's still wet. Where is EXO? 666 there on his own, 7.7 further back from Nismo Nathan. Jimbo leading his class. Now, we play Sea of Thieves with this man and have a good chat with him. Has a tendency to fall asleep like Jeff from the Wiggles, but he is absolutely flying, and he's 1.7 seconds in the lead of his class.
Yeah, no, Jimbo's an interesting character. He's one of my mates. He did get into a punch on the Kingston Raceway up in Queensland go-karting centre on Saturday night and got kicked out when his mates...
Just an incident.
So the best part was, yeah, I had an incident. But yeah, he allegedly got hit up the arse while in pit lane. So Jimbo, being the typical Queenslander he is, decided, no, I'm going to get out and start pushing. It was it was rental cars, but it was a sort of race night they have, and yeah, Jimbo obviously didn't make the final, and neither did this other guy. Jimbo was there with a few mates. His mates made the final, but Jimbo had to go sit in the car like a naughty boy and watch it from... Oh, poor Jimmy. It's good fun. But yeah, so he is leading his class at the moment, and hopefully he has no punch-ons with all the other behind him.
So we'll wait and see. He's all on his own at the moment, isn't he? But we've got Aaron W.G. Thomas. Sounds like somebody who discovered Benalla back in the 1500s. As the great W.G. Grace.
1500s or just recently?
No, that's way into the future, isn't it? And there we go. You're going to find it funny. I did find a Tyrannosaurus bone in my backyard, which I'm going to take a picture of and send it through, because you're going to find it very, very funny. It's a bit of an old joke there Wilco loves, as he's right behind Andrelli. And I guess when this man was sitting down in front of his editing software, he wouldn't be expecting rain like this, would he, when he was doing that track preview and thinking about the glory days growing up in Wodonga? He wouldn't have been thinking about these sort of conditions, would he, Andrelli, here tonight?
Nah, but as we know, Andrelli does a lot of work on the scenes. Little time to do some practice, so it's good to see him back racing. He's normally the safety car in the roads, as he just runs wide and becomes a wide Maserati there, but he lets through, it's all good. But yeah, we've got someone, who's that in the pit lane? And someone has spun in the pit lane.
In the pit lane, let's have a look. Smitty there.
I see a 6-6 something, yes. Ernie Drongo. He's 2 laps down.
Bert. Ernie Drongo there. What did he do? He spun into the pit lane, Bert and Ernie, and you can see there he's... Hey, Bert. Oh, hey, Ernie. So 45... As 44 minutes to go. Oh, we're mad, aren't we? As Ernie Drongo pulls up to an invisible pit crew. And boy, they're spaced out, aren't they? Here, I'm trying to find a close battle on the track. And is there anyone alive out there? Get your comments in. Can anybody hear me? And there we go. Spawn is right up Nick's Ginger. At least it's saying that, isn't it? But it looks more than 4/10 of a second.
Oh, wow. Nick must have had a moment, because he was up in 4th. So.
He was, wasn't he?
Mr. Good Vibes is getting those good vibrations up there in P4 at the moment, leading Pro-M class. Of course, Vibesy being one of the first guys to race on ACC in KRL, so he's been here a long time. So has Polka's sort of getting there too. He's been here for a couple of years as well, so a couple of the old guns going not too bad in these wet conditions, maybe because they've been in my lobbies and the wet conditions, so
yes,
they're used to it.
Just about to say there, Vibesy, one of the founding forefathers of this league. He
say that after a few drinks.
One of the first to really take his shovel and start digging, and really turned the first sod, didn't he, of this KRL season and this championship in general. And he was one of the founding forefathers, of course. And he will get one of his. I tell you what, he'd even make it to Mount Kidmore, wouldn't he? Get his face on the founding members. You know what I'm trying to say? I'm doing that one to death, aren't I? But Norm, ooh, hello there. Is he passing a beach life-saving person there in Beaky? I think he is. Gee, that stands out, doesn't it? 10 laps completed, 5.2. Can you see anybody beating Norm at this stage? Long way to go, Wilco, but he is dominating 18 minutes in.
Oh, look at the weather now. Clouds in 30 minutes. We could have interesting last 10 minutes here. Will it be wet enough to stay on the wet, or will it be dry enough to go on the dries? That could be very, very interesting. But yeah, Norm is, he's like his teammate Nemo, fish out of water, wet stuff. But most Kiwis love the rain too, because it rains every bloody day there. But yeah, he's doing really well at the moment. Noodles is sort of just going with him, but of course with this rain easing up and eventually stopping in the next 30 minutes, the race is anyone's, because even if Norm gets out to a 10-second lead, if he chooses to pit because he had not enough fuel, and you got guys like Noodles and Hainsey who might have seen it at the last second, chucked in extra fuel, which is why they're a little bit slower now. Norm's probably potentially could be one of those cars to do an extra pit stop because they don't have the fuel to get to the dry window.
And we're just looking here, while we're talking pit stop strategy, Beaky is beached at turn 1 here.
Where's Hasselhoff? Get him out there.
Really, I prefer Pamela Anderson, but he is stationary at turn 1. And who comes out to save the lifeguard when he's beached at turn 1? And he looks like he's down there with the marshals saying a few naughty words in German here.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know the procedure of a lifeguard getting saved. Maybe if a lifeguard's getting saved in a... Maybe had too many pedal pops. That's the other part of that livery. But yeah, I'm sure Beaky will let us know. He could be just stuck.
And we'll get back to Beaky in a moment. He's still on the track map there. He looks like he's fallen off the edge of the earth, doesn't he? We know that can happen around here after an update on ACC, but we've seen it in the past. But Beaky is still off there at turn 1. And he's kind of like on GTA when you sail out as far as you can go into the water and all of a sudden you just disappear. That's what's happening to Beaky at the moment. That's not too good indeed. But now Norm, 5.5 is that gap back to Noodles. And 2-minute Noodles there with Hainsey, Vimesy, founding forefather there, sideways Polka alongside him. Craig all on his own, P3 in his class. And then it's Nick going through there, who must have run aground at some point. We've just ticked over to 1/3 race distance here. Spawn Racing, they're in 9th on the track, and then Aaron, Shawnee Fuller and Drelly not too far behind him. We'll stick with that, but Jimbo is still not moving there. Can we go on board with Jimbo and see what is happening there, Wilco? Because I'm not seeing much action. If we can just try and get Jimbo, we'll see what's happening. Oh no, he's back going again now. No, that's not Jimbo. Beaky, I beg your pardon.
Beaky?
I've got them mixed up.
Beaky, I'm not sure what you're doing. Oh no, he's going again. He's cleared the cans out of the throttle with the pedal box, and he's able to get going again. All the cans and paddle pop sort of must be blocking his throttle and brake, but he's back on track now, and he's ready to go.
He's back on track now, just decided to stop at turn 1 for 2 laps. I don't know why, but he's got back going again. We don't know, but Beak, if you're out there and can let us know what's happening, please do so. But I'd love to get a penny for the Nigerian Prince's thoughts here. This is a man who's turned plenty of laps in wet weather conditions. And if you are there and very much alive out there, Nigerian Prince.
Just quickly cut in. Just flick down to Andrali and Spawn, because they're having a good battle. Sorry, Andrali and Shawnee Fuller.
Shawnee Fuller. This man's good in the wet weather. I was about to say to the Nigerian Prince what his tips and tricks are in the wet weather. Oh, I don't know about this, Chuck Norris. It looks like it's peeing down even more. But what are you thinking behind the wheel of that car when it's peeing down rain such as it is?
Yeah, definitely making sure that you're staying off the sleek concrete, so the runoffs beyond the curbing, stuff like that. Making sure you're not braking on the curbing too, because yeah, that can get quite slippery. But it almost looks like some of these drivers are almost looking to cool down their tyres a little bit by running off of the dry line, getting back onto the wet stuff, pull them down that little bit more, because yeah, this rain easing off, it's going to get quite interesting towards the end, I think.
Great stuff. I tell you what, never thought about that, but you just can't go off that racing line. You heard Chuck Norris there. Some of these drivers will be trying to cool those tyres down, though, of course. Wet weather for another 10 or so minutes. In half an hour, that is easing up. Do the drivers wait, Wilco, to get their stops done onto the dry tyres? What would you be doing?
If you have enough fuel, then yeah, you definitely go until as late as you can. If it doesn't dry up, so we've got probably a 10 to 12 minute window where it could dry up, which it can dry up quite quickly in this game. I mean, I'm not sure the wind actually has much effect on drying the track, but there's 11k winds. Shawnee Fuller runs wide through the last one there, but yeah, if it does stop raining, it can dry up pretty quickly. So if you can go almost into the last sort of 6 or 7 minutes, and potentially chuck on dries for 3 laps, you could get a few cars, because when those wets overheat, they turn to mush, because you will be sliding around everywhere. So it'd be quite critical to be on the right tyre at the right time.
And I don't think our race leader Norm, did we have him around last week? I don't think we did we?
I don't think,
no.
Not for the GT2s, definitely for the GT3.
No, I think Noodles might have taken out the win at the Nürburgring, and Cloquet might have been in there as well, I think. So, yeah, but we didn't have Norm there, but 4.5 seconds. That gap is decreasing, which means it's becoming less than the 5 seconds it was a few moments ago. And is that a Surf Lifesaver off to the left? It is. And you can see there he's just getting out of the way of the lead pack. And you heard Jason Wilkinson, who is a multiple world champion. In fact, multiple championships. I think there's about 5 of them between the 3 of us up here in the commentary box tonight. So I am in esteemed company. I used to drive, but then I retired unofficially. Well, I haven't really officially retired, but you'd have to be blind or stupid to think I wouldn't make a comeback at some point. But 35 minutes remaining, which means we've got 5 minutes until half race distance, 15 laps to go, 15 laps completed, I should say. And Noodles behind Norman Price. Hainsey with the quickest lap. Is he catching Noodles here, Wilco?
Not quite.
Okay, then. And 1.6 seconds. You like that one, didn't you? Vibesy there in 4th, leading his class. And Beaky looks to be crawling around the track. Has he got some damage or something? I'm not sure, but he's just tiptoeing through the tulips, isn't he there? Through the tulips, through the tulips. And you can see Beaky there having real trouble here in these conditions. Jason, as he's got Vibesy coming up his ginger for good company.
Well, yeah, he must be a pretty bad lifesaver, because he can't handle the wet stuff.
And
not ideal for Beaky.
I'll tell him you said that, but he always jumps onto the chat, doesn't he, and says, "Oh, good evening, everybody," except Trevor, dickhead. But no, it's just a bit of a joke he likes to do. But, well, if you're going to go with those colours, you really, really have to be a good swimmer or a Gold Coast Suns fan at the least. But he's pulling off to the left-hand side again. I don't know why I'm repeating myself, as Add to Many and Nismo, these two having a good battle. And Nismo just wanted to get through this race cleanly, didn't he, Wilco? And he's doing that okay at the moment, despite this pressure from Add to Many.
Yeah, no, he's doing well. He's second in class, only 3 seconds off the lead, so he'll be... Oh, that was just close. I was just on board with one of the guys that looped it there, but all good. But yeah, Nismo will be doing a good job. He'll be happy with his... He'll know the 30. Hey, that rhymes.
And the winner is Sydney! Yay! And remember that? How good was that? Great to be here as always. And Steph has joined us, and she's redeemed her sack coins. And Add to Many going wide there. Let me just confirm to Steph, who is watching there from Sydney. She says, great to be here as always, great to have your company. In fact, I said that, Steph, that's funny, isn't it? But just repeating my own words back to me there. But 33 minutes, you join us at a critical time, as there's another yellow flag there for something. What's happening there? Somebody coming into the pit lane, but Nigerian Prince, if you could say hello to your favourite #1 fan. Oh wait, you already have said hello to me, haven't you? But Steph also here as well, if you want to say a quick hello. Speak now or forever hold your peace.
Like hold my piece of Kentucky Fried Chicken or tender or...
And I can't type and talk at the same time, which I think is fairly obvious there as Ernie Dingo. just putting the back end of that car out. But, well, been lurking since near the start, been out for a night walk, and people listening to us on their night walks, wherever they're watching right around the country. It is fantastic to have you with us on a Wednesday night here for the GT2s. Men cannot multitask, really cannot at the moment. I can't type and speak at the same time. But you can see Ernie Dingo there just trying to negotiate these conditions. Hainsey, Hainsey's not catching Noodles, Trev. And I thought I was seeing things, and it is down to 1.1 as Stewie goes off the track there. I think he was just letting some traffic through. Ernie Drongo, not Dingo. And it depends how excited I get in the heat of the moment, really, whether I go with the correct name or another name, which I think I've even gone for Bert and Ernie. Oh, hello, Bert. And sounds nothing like them, does it? But this man you speak of is, where is he? He is in 21st position on the track, but P5 in his class. Hey, Bert and Ernie. Oh, hey, Ernie. And there we go. And really can't multitask, that's for sure. But that's an old one indeed. Just showing my age a little bit there. But I've got to say, these people that tune in from South Australia, don't we love them over there in the Hamptons? But we're approaching half the race distance. I still am not seeing anybody come into the pits, Wilco.
Yeah, no, I've just been flicking on Nismo's stream, and as I said, I was just checking his fuel numbers. He might be able to go to this dry stage. He's still got 14 left. But as I was doing that, Smitty in the background said, "Oh, at least you didn't start on slicks like I." So that's why Smitty lap. So he's doing well. He's the leader of the cars that have pitted, and he's only just behind Exo. But we're Nismo. Oh, Jimbo's in the pits now, so Jimbo couldn't get to the end. So yeah, Nismo's probably in the box seat here if he can keep the car out until when it does go slicks. He should be able to win his own class. He might actually jump up a few positions. See, over the next 5 minutes, there's a lot of people pitting. Then you'll know that people didn't see that minus rain when on the pre-race skid, which means they're going to have to do potentially 2 pit stops or have really, really hot wets at the last 10 minutes.
It's going to be interesting to see. It's getting a bit darker there as well, isn't it? As Norm, we get back
2 seconds now. Noodles just did a fast lap, so
Noodles.
I wonder if Norm's cooked his tyres.
And not 2-minute Noodles anymore, is it? It's 2-second Noodles, because that's how quick he's travelling. And let me tell you that he is catching him at a quick rate of knots. And did you hear that? Half the race gone, half still to go. And keep your head down and focus on the job at hand. But we're inside the second half of this race at the moment. Great to have the support there from Steph in Sydney and formerly of South Australia. But better not tell the live story to everybody out there watching. But Craig in the pits. And where's he coming from? He's coming from the track, of course, into the pit lane. And then we can see there Shawnee Fuller, and you can see them going off the racing line. This is what Chuck Norris said would happen. They would go off the racing line to cool those tyres down. And that's what we're seeing at the moment. Oh, they're struggling for grip, aren't they, Wilco? They're losing it.
Yeah, so the rain is going to start easing up in the next few minutes, which means that the tyres are only going to get hotter. If they are struggling with overpressure tyres, they're only going to get worse because the rain's going to ease off higher. We've got Craig's jumped into the pits, but I'm just going to keep an eye on these leaders. This would be roughly when you pit for Noodles have gone through, Hainsey has gone through. So yeah, this is roughly where you would be pitting if it was a dry race, but looks like these boys, maybe they did see the minus rain early enough that they were just quickly slapping a full tank of fuel and just trying to do a splash and dash with maybe a 5-second tyre change for slicks in that last 10 minutes.
And you were talking about someone going on to slick tyres there before. Reminds me back in the day when the Williams team elected to go onto slick tyres before the start of the warm-up lap at Monaco all those years ago. And boy, oh boy, that was a bad one. The heavens opened and Schumacher won by about 3 minutes. But there we go, 27 seconds, 20... And let's rewind. For anyone that doesn't know, that's a VHS tape rewinding and starting again. 27.5 minutes to go. And Steph just getting a little bit chatty here. She goes, just because I got hugs advantage with Chuck doesn't mean when I visited and you didn't. And I said, can you please stop? What are you going to do, Chevy boy? And I said, probably nothing, use my keyboard and Twitch. She goes, oh no. And you don't want to fight me, silly. Well, there's a bit of a chat banter going on there as Noodles and sideways into the pits and out of the pits again. And someone awesome into the pits. How have you seen his race? He's really had a disappointing one.
Spin, so that's sort of, he lost a lot of ground doing that. So he's effectively nearly a lap down, but of course the leaders haven't pitted. But yeah, Noodles is closing in again. Here we go.
And let's be friends. Let's be friends over there in Sydney, or up there in Sydney, whichever way you want to look at it. But 26.5 to go. Noodles catching up. Is Norm toying with them at the moment, or is he genuinely struggling on those tyres? You can see the Austrian countryside over the back there of the hills, that it's getting a little bit brighter, I reckon. 10 minutes until we've got more rain, and then 30 minutes until it's drying up. So it still says 30 minutes, doesn't it, Wilco? So when are we expecting that to switch over?
Yeah,
maybe
so,
with 12 or so to go?
Yeah, so the way the weather, I guess radar, it's probably radar, but the weather emblems work is, it'll show you exactly in 30 minutes. That's over when there was, I think it was 43 minutes to go. So that means with about 12 or 13 minutes to go in the race, so in the next, I guess we'll see in the next sort of couple of minutes, it'll flick over to 10 minutes. And when it does that, it means it'll be exactly 10 minutes. The weather system is obviously random, but like it's 100% on the money with these 10 and 30 minute intervals. So exactly when it switches over, we'll keep an eye on that. When that cloud changes to 10 minutes, then we'll have a look at the time, and then we'll know exactly in 10 minutes, then the rain will stop. So if it happens in the next minute or two, that could be potentially be 12-13 minutes of dry track, which is going to be dry and dry. Oh, my voice broke.
That is nothing wrong with that. It's going to happen eventually, Wilco. And of course,
finally gone through puberty.
Yes.
Hainsey's in.
And Hainsey's into the pit lane. We'll get back to your puberty problems in a moment, because Mark Ledwich says, are they possibly fuel saving? Lift and coast. As Hainsey into the pit. So a lot of these drivers coming in now, and it's going to really be interesting to see how this how they go strategy wise, won't it? We'll go to see whether what they're going to do. But Hainsey's in. Would you be coming in now, do you think, Wilco?
Well, the only reason he's coming in now is because obviously not had enough fuel. Oh, he did have past one of the back markers, so maybe we missed that. But yeah, if you're not pitting yet, you're like I said, you can't pit onto slicks until it 100% stops raining, because it usually takes about 2 or 3 laps to come up saying slick tyres optimum. And the little trick of the trade, don't pit then, because the track would actually still be damp, which means it probably won't really matter for this, but that means if, say, for an endurance race, you will, or Noodles. But what it means is if you go out, even though it says slick tyres optimum, if you go out on slick tyres, they will rain up hard, and they'll be absolutely brutal by the end of the stint. Of course, they won't have to worry about that tonight, because they're only 6 or 7 laps they'll potentially do it. But there's the tip for those watching: if you have an endurance race, or I guess pretty much endurance race in one, then it's either rain and tyres optimum, stay up for another lap or 2 on those wets, try and cool them down as much as you can, and then go to slicks when it goes from a damp track to greasy track, and then 2 or 3 laps tyres where it'll heat up a bit faster.
That is the wise words of Jason Wilkinson. Jason, I don't know about you, but don't seem to be seeing any polls in the chat. Do we have to fly to Poland, do we, to see some poles? Because I'm not seeing any at the moment. And if you're out there, Chuck, would you mind...
Will we see slick tyres? Yeah, that could...
Will we see... This stuff writes itself, doesn't it? So there we go. Will we see slick tyres? Will we see Chuck Norris putting a pole in there, Wilco? By dropping enough hints there, but we'll wait and see what happens there. But the Prince has his mind on more princely matters tonight, doesn't he? As we've still got him here. Exclusive. Give yourself a shout out, Chuck, if you're out there and you are alive and well in the Hamptons. But Norm is leading. 15 seconds now is the gap. Vimesy. Okay.
10 minutes. 10 minutes until, so yeah, that's a change over now. So we might have missed 30 seconds for a minute, but
well,
definitely 12 minutes to go is going to be when it's stopping raining and not now. So has guys like Vivesy and Nick, they got enough fuel and potentially in one stop, they could win this race. Let me go on what Vivesy stream. I know he does stream, and I'll get back to you.
And yes, the predictions have started. There we go. And you can see Nick into the pit lane. We were spot on there. If you make the correct predictions, you can win all sorts of goodies, including channel points. Will we see the slick tyres? Well, we're seeing Nick into the pit lane. And let's have a look here. Into the pits he comes. Norm already ahead of him there. That means Vimesy goes up into the lead. Down the inside of someone. Awesome hasn't been his night, has it? But the prediction is up. Will we see slick tyres? Yes or no? 5 minutes remaining. Gamble responsibly. And just think of what you could be gambling with whilst you're gambling your coins. It's for a good cause, though, with 20 minutes remaining in this race. And we're going to get to that 12-minute mark as someone awesome and Vibesy here. Where is Vibesy?
So if I just checked on the stream, Vibesy has 2 laps of fuel, so he's going to make it. Let me just go check Mr. Spawn, and I'll see how much fuel he had.
And let's start from the back and see where we're at. As you can see, Beaky there in P6 in his class at the moment. Yellow flags, they're gone now. We're green again.
Oh, Spawn's around.
And where is Spawn? I'm trying to find... Oh, no, there he is. And he's dropping down the field very quickly. He's back on the track now, but is he going to lose too many places there, Wilco? I think he might be under some pressure here.
Yeah, he was around to it. Tell you what, this is crazy because Sean Fuller, he was miles behind, so he's actually just in front of Noodles and stuff, so we might have missed. But you still got Andrelli, Nismo, Aaron. They have not pitted yet, and they're technically they're behind Noodles and Norm, which, by the way, we missed that. Noodles in the lead now. But yeah, they're behind. But if these boys, they're gonna have to stay out on tyres for the last 20 minutes. Andrelli and that, I don't know if they're gonna make up maybe 40 seconds. You change tyres, might be too much of a gap. But if these tyres do overheat and cook, they definitely could get a sneaky win here out of those Andrelli sort of things. And Sean's probably in the box seat, I'd say.
Yep, and still plenty to play out here because he's still out on the circuit, of course. There is Spawn. Smitty with the fastest lap now, 25 laps in. Shawnee Fuller, he is the man. If he can't do it, somebody else can. But Noodles leading the championship, of course. He'll be looking for another podium. He'll be looking for the win, in fact. As somebody went off there in the middle part of the lap, but they've gone back into the pits. What happened to Awesome? Says Maxi Naked Blade. What happened to him again? He had a spin, didn't he, Wilco? Ooh, is he just...
Yeah, he had a spin. I'm just trying to find my HUD to get...
And while you're finding that, I'm going to type a custom answer to Maxi Naked Blade there, who says, yes, what happened to him? He had a spin, this man, and it's just put him on the back foot. He ran into some unfortunate stuff last week too, didn't he, I believe. And but we do have 10 minutes or so, in fact less than that, until the rain clears up. And then we might have about 10 minutes or so, a few laps to go in this race with a drying track, but somewhat awesome. He does not look comfortable. in that number 1 Maserati. You can see there he's bouncing over the curves. 1 minute left on the predictions. Thank you, Chuck. If you want to get a prediction in, I'm looking at you, Maxi Naked Blade, or anybody else out there watching, please get your predictions in ASAP. And he hasn't looked comfortable, has he? Someone awesome, Jason, here tonight. He's been bouncing around all over the place in the Austrian countryside.
Yeah, he's had a rough night, but of course he's still in it. He's still, like I said, there's still 4 cars that haven't pitted, so he could get up to 9th. But of course those boys could be on. They go. We've got a damp track now, so this must be. The rain's eased off so much that the track's actually upgraded from wet to damp. So these boys are going to start cooking their tyres now. So I'm telling you, Sean Fuller and Joe come away with a sneaky win here tonight.
Oh, still plenty to play out. 17 minutes remaining. If you're alive out there and you're watching, please get your comments in. Maxi knows what I'm joking about there. 2 great minds, Maxi. Don't we love it? And just talking about someone awesome. This man having a roller coaster of a week. Oh, it's not getting any better. He's off into the Austrian countryside. That's no good. And he's back onto the circuit now. And this track, of course, home to Toto Wolff and Arnold Schwarzenegger. And give me the phase plasma rifle in the 40-watt range. And there we go. That's when he goes into the gun store on the first Terminator movie. And I just responded back to Maxi and said, roller coaster of love, say one. And there we go. That's the one, says Maxi. And boy, yeah, we're going to lose him if I keep singing like that. But 5 tenths, but Norm and Noodles, if you don't mind. Chuck Norris, look at this. Norm and Noodles, they seem to be struggling, but this is a ding-dong-ding-along here with 16 minutes remaining.
Yeah, this is interesting. So we're almost getting into that crossover point where it will go from damp to greasy. So I would estimate maybe give or take the next 5 minutes, we might see greasy conditions. But as the conditions keep drying up, those tires are naturally going to get warmer and warmer. So what these guys, I think, are prioritizing, although Norm and Noodles have done their pit stop, they'll either be prioritizing driving on the wet stuff if they've decided to go back out on wet, or if they're on the dries, they're going to be sticking off of the curbs, hoping that it comes to them later. But yeah, it's a little bit too treacherous out there, I think, to go onto the dry tires. But yeah, looking like it's heating up between Noodles and Norm, which is good to see.
Well, I'm just trying to check the sunset time here in Austria. What time is it locally here on the track, Wilco? Because it's getting very murky out there at the moment. I know the trackside cameras can't really see that, can they? But is it a 6 p.m. start race track time? Because it's getting very dark out there for the drivers.
It's actually 7 p.m. 8 p.m. Sorry, so it'll be about 8:51 p.m. at the moment at Red Bull Ring. So yeah, that could hamper the guys that haven't pitted going on to slicks, but as I said, the track's already gone to damp and it's still actually raining.
Yes, it's a funny one though, isn't it? You know it's the Red Hot Chili Peppers, Max. Don't give me that roller coaster, that Beavis and Butthead song from that movie. But Shawnee Fuller, as the sun is setting here in Austria and the track drying out, you can see that rain stop now, Wilco. And it is strange on this ACC game. It never gets dark completely, does it? On this game, remember we had that endurance race where it was dark, and we had the Suzuka
and
wasn't
the rain.
it? And the rain and the dark, and everyone was scared of it. But less than 14 minutes remaining now. Shawnee Fuller yet to make a stop. You can see there's still some spray coming off the back of these cars here, but he's really in the box seat. You reckon? Noodles has pitted, and we'll wait and see there. Norm not too far behind him. Andrelli up into P2 in class and P4 overall. Has anybody mentioned this man? Our graphics man, Jason, is doing absolutely stupendously good.
Yes, and he's the guy that hasn't pitted yet. So, as I said, I'm just watching on board a couple of guys. So Nismo's going to try in the next lap or two. Just give him a little bit of engineering while commentating, which is always good fun. But I said, yeah, the optimum time would be to pit a lap after it says slick tyres optimum, which should be probably this lap will pop up saying slick tyres optional. So I'll keep his stream going just so I can keep an eye on when that message pops up, because I reckon we're going to have this rain click over to cloud in the next 20 seconds here. So keep an eye on that up the top there, and it'll change over. You can see everyone's hunting.
Yeah, they're going offline, aren't they, Wilco, to get to cool things down a bit. But I reckon we had about damp now. The track conditions have gone to damp. You can see it there. The driver's trying to cool those wet tyres down. 12 and a half minutes. It's happened, Wilco.
There you go.
It's happened. There we go. It was about that 12 and a half minute mark that we were expecting the conditions to officially on the graphic at the top of your screen. That's a good way to keep an eye on things. You can see at the top of the screen there, we've got the timer, then 10 and 30 minutes. They are the conditions. So we're expecting the track in 10 minutes time. It should be fully dry, Wilco, do you reckon, around here?
I reckon it'll come up, so it's still damp. I reckon it'll go greasy in the next minute. So that'll be the time when it comes up saying, boys, wet tyres are no good, slick tyres are optimum. And I said 11 minutes to go. That's still 5 or 6 laps around here, and that could be a gamble worth taking.
Could get you the race win, hero or zero stuff, really. And Noodles in second, and Norm behind him. We've seen that. Andrelli and Nismo. Is he losing a bit of time here? He's got Vibesy and Hainsey. Hainsey's very quick here, I reckon. Is Nismo going to come in this lap? That's the question. And is he going to cross that white line? It's a funny pit lane. No, he's staying out.
He's got enough fuel for one more lap, so he's going to pit this lap now.
As somebody is into the pits. Is that Stewie? No, someone else.
No, Andrelli. So Andrelli, I reckon he could be. I'll keep an eye on his time, so you just keep commentating. I'm going to listen and watch and time his, and we'll see if he's on tyres.
Well, could we be talking to this man post-race? The man who grew up in Wodonga and heads back there very, very often during the year. And you can see he's up in Queensland now. And I don't know why, I was getting a little bit funny with him for not stopping by Benalla, of course. But if you're heading down from Queensland, you don't go past where I live. Not that he'd want to be thrown back into the Stone Age. Or Noodles getting a little bit off track there. We've got 10 minutes remaining in this one. It is getting very dark out here. We should jump on board with someone and see what they're seeing, if you know what I'm trying to say. We might go on board with Hainsey. Oh, Hainsey and Vibesy. Nismo ahead of them. We'll drive on board. Oh, somebody's off there. And I think that might have been Beaky. Beaky.
I reckon Andrelli's on slicks.
And let's just have a look. Jimbo Jones there, Noodles. Shawnee Fuller, Vibesy. And Beaky it was. Yes, Beaky gone off the track there. You can see how difficult. Look at the visibility here, Wilco. He can't see anything out of his rear view mirror. And so difficult. Look, and I reckon he might be on the wrong tyres here, is he? Can we see that? Let's have a look. We'll just have a quick look here. And you can see all the stats in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. But he's tiptoeing around here, Beaky, but we might go on. There's Exo. Oh, and Mayonnaise! And oh no, Shizer! And boy, they nearly collected someone else there, Wilco. It's really gone tits up here for these three. And I think Ad Timeni's got involved in that as well. Was it Mayo, I think, who went off in front of him, and it caused all sorts of havoc there.
Yeah, I wasn't watching that. I was watching the boys in the pit lane, and we just had the message then. Slick tyres are optimum. It's just popped up on screen on stream for the boys. So slick tyres are optimum. Sean Fuller still hasn't pitted, so he's going to throw on some. He said, I don't know if he's going to get enough. He's going to have to hope these boys, these boys on the wet tyre balloon their tyres and actually pop. Because if they need to be going probably 10 seconds lap slower than him. But it's going to be a gamble. We'll have to see. 8 minutes to go. It has to get that dry track, and then it should be okay.
As Norm continues on, Shawnee Fuller, box. And there we go. Impossible to race with. Fernando Alonso and Maxi and Mark just redeeming the sound effects. We love what you do out there, but with 8 minutes to go, pit lane action. Shawnee Fuller in, so Norm and Noodles. I think they're continuing on, aren't they? And boy, what drama here to finish this race. Round 4 of the championship. And you're watching GT2s for the KRL season. And season number 6. And you can see they're down to less than 8 minutes, I should say. So this is going to be interesting. Who's your money on, Wilco? Just quickly here, if we can get your thoughts.
I think Noodles is home and hose, but as I said, you never know because your tyres can just switch off like that. It's still saying damp, which will be helping the guys on wet tyres. It hasn't flicked over yet. Oh, Nismo's around. He's had a big crash.
And Nismo, who was doing well, he stayed out, didn't he? But and he had to come in. He left it as late as possible. He's still leading his class, isn't he? For the time being, but we'll wait and see what happens there. And I think he's a fair way ahead of Jimbo, but you can see them pulling offline there to try and get some water onto those tyres and cool everything down. But it's really just a game of cat and mouse towards the end, isn't it? Hainsey now right up behind Vibesy. Oh, which way do you see this one going, Jason? Because look how close they are now. Is he going to go down the inside? Turns 9 and 10 coming up, but he's not going to make a move on this occasion. And is it difficult making a move, Wilco, when the track's still damp? Or it says it's still damp because, then again, they're taking all sorts of different lines anyway, aren't they, really, here? So there's always opportunities to make a move somewhere.
So you can see that dry line going on the racing line. There's definitely a dry line now. Boys are going to be cooking their tyres. They're going to be missing braking points. And it might actually be worth doing what Vibes is doing, actually running on the paint, just try and get some sort of wet track. You can definitely see the track is drying up.
So you can see that dry line despite the dark murkiness. Hainsey down the inside, like Nico Rosberg and Lewis. And many years ago here at this track, or was it Charles and Max, I think, come together in 2019? Or whatever year it was, but not happening on that occasion. I wasn't the one who crashed. I'll take the win, guys. And that's when he was winning everything back in the day, and hasn't won for a couple of years now, Lewis. But he'll be off to Ferrari. But 5.5 minutes left. Hainsey is not worried about that because he's just worried about this man in front of him. And Vibesy, of course, leading his class, but Hainsey wants... well, he's in the podium spot, isn't he? And someone awesome isn't going to annoy him here. But Nick as well behind sideways. What other close battles have we got? Someone awesome. The fight back against Shawnee Fuller. He's down the inside. Is he through here, Jason? Oh, let's have a look. They're side by side. Down to turn 4.
Slicks, Sean. Sean will be on slicks.
Sean on slicks. He's got that done. Is he taking the conservative approach there? Down the inside, you can see them here trying to find whatever grip they can. Trying to keep those tyres cool. There's another battle here. Spawn and Nismo as well. So what is Nismo? Does Nismo need to stay in front of Spawn here? He might give this one up.
No, but he does have a fair bit of damage because he lost tyres. So the track hasn't, like you can see the dry line starting to appear. And it has been for the last lap or two. So if we can keep in that, they'll get tyre temp and they'll be a lot fun. But Nismo has a fair bit of damage, but he is still quite a way ahead in the lead. So
yes,
it's a risky strategy he's doing, but he's doing okay at the moment.
Certainly is, just like Lando Norris waiting for a safety. Oh, Nismo, what are you doing there? And he's having all sorts of trouble here, isn't he? Drifting around the circuit now. Just love that camera angle there as they go over the top of the ripple strips there, or whatever they're called. But the big Austrian sausages, as Chuck would like to say. But Nismo having some issues there, but that dry line is emerging. And Wilco, we've gone to greasy, my friend.
There you go. So this will be... Now let's go on board and let's see what these boys... They're going to be struggling.
Let's have a look. And Matt Simmons has joined us there. I said at the top of our show, I don't look at anybody's socks, but when I do, they are those socks of a GT Academy World Champion who drives for the Nissan team. and gets around in a private jet, according to the movie. I can confirm that that jet was not real. Oh, and somebody, is that Nismo around? And let me just get my bearings here. It wasn't Nismo. I need to get back into the broadcast stuff here because I thought it was Nismo there.
That was Hainsey.
And let's just get the viewers and the chat and everything back. And big hello to you, Matthew Simmons and Hank down there watching from Melbourne. But who was it again? Hainsey?
Yep, Hainsey had a spin, so he lost a few positions.
Oh no. This is not good. This is not going to the script, Matthew Simmons, because this is not what we're expecting. Hainsey, he's still in for a podium position, isn't he, in the pro class? We've got the Pro-Am and the Am drivers, and we've got Nismo leading that little race there, as we've got a yellow flag for something else. Is that someone coming into the pit lane? I think it might be Stewie Wilson. No, I beg your pardon. Beaky there. He's still circling that lifeguard car, albeit 6 laps down, 3 laps down for Ernie Drongo. Chipperton, that rain looks like it's creeping over the mountains there in the background, but I don't think it's going to worry them, Wilco, because with less than 2 minutes to go, we are going to see an end to this race, but it is not over yet. Anything could happen in the next 90 seconds as VIP Choo Choo Train, Hype Train Maxi Naked Blade says, great livery on Saturday, Matt Simmons. Probably the reason you received that aggressive pass. And not sure what that's about, Maxi. But Greasy with 2 minutes to go. They can't wait for the checkered flag, says Matt Norris. Matt Simmons. Matt Norris? Don't know any Matt Norris, but there is a Chuck Norris and a Matt Simmons. But with 1 minute to go, they
Sean
cannot...
here.
Ooh, and...
Look at Sean. He's flying on... He's so much faster than the boys around him.
He is flying, and
2 seconds faster than Noodles that lap. 33.3. Noodles. Oh, sorry, I was looking at the wrong person. Noodles did a 33, but Sean has the fastest lap. Noodles going to do one more. Well, he's on the curb there, but he's all good. So Noodles, he should be safe. As long as these tyres don't pop, he should be home and hosed, but that's the biggest commentator's curse I've ever put on someone, so I only apologise. But 1 left to go for Noodles here. Can he bring it home?
Can Noodles bring it home? Here he comes. He might have another lap in him. Yes, he will. And as Matty Simmons responding to the Maxter. Okay, last lap of the race. Give it all you can. Noodles going offline there listening. And well done, Wilco. Now you've done it. And I think, to quote Wilco, what was the quote? As long as his tyres don't pop, he will be home and hosed. Well, let me guess that we've seen stranger things happen. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Happy New Year. And there we go. Cuddle your loved ones tonight, because Noodles is only a few corners away from victory. He did take the championship lead last time out at the Nürburgring. And he's moved to Austria. He's going to get the job done tonight, but he's not home yet, Wilco. He's getting close, though.
Yeah, so just to clarify, Sean was actually 2 seconds faster than everyone else around that lap. He's going to pop in. He must have made a mistake because he did a 30.7 that lap, but still faster than all the other cars. Oh, there's a couple cars around at the lap. Who's that? Mayo might have been the car to go around, but Noodles come through the last few corners. He's done a really good job. On Norm, first half of the race, he's taken the lead. Trev, bring Mr. Noodles home.
Here we go, through the final couple of corners here. He took the championship lead last week for round 3 of the season. He's come to Austria this week, and he has put on a tremendously beautiful performance from this beautiful man, KTM. Thank you, Race Control. They win the race. Norm finishes second in his class. Good to see Sidorg looking out the back window, says Maxi. Well done, Wilco. You sure have done it. Well, he's got home in the end. Sorry, gents. Should have stayed at home, says Beaky. And we saw you, Beaky, stopped at turn 1, swimming between the flags, but you managed to get going. Vibesy winning in his class. How good is that? Across the line he comes. And sideways Polka then finishing in P3 in class. Hainsey coming home also, and I think that might be everyone on that lap, I think. Wilco, I think. Are we waiting for
Yeah.
anyone else to come home?
There's still a few more boys crossing the line. Nismo. So let's just have a look at the classes. So we had Noodles, Norm, and Hainsey Pro. You then had Vibesy get an overall P3, Nick and Sideways Polka for Pro Am, and then down in the Am class you got Nismo taking his first win. You got Exorcist, had a very quiet night for him, but he's got up to P2, and then Jimbo taking P3. So well done to all those boys. We'll get them in for a quick chat. I'll invite them in now, and yeah, we'll let a few last few.
And don't forget about Jimbo. There he goes, Jimbo Jones across the line. They're still racing. Can you believe I was already checking out there? But Beaky has reliably informed us that he was just taking a toilet break down there at turn 1. Oh, that's fantastic, isn't it? And we've got some fireworks here in Austria. Wow, I wouldn't really think that they Austrians would be into this sort of thing, but the fireworks are going off there in the background. As soon as Jimbo crossed the line, the fireworks started, and Matt Simmons is advising us that he's fingers crossed he can join us tomorrow night, Wilco. Great news.
Beautiful. That's what I like to hear.
Yes, that would be fantastic. I'm going to pin that comment at the top because I can do that now. And yeah, that's right, Chuck is pinning these comments here. If just look out if I start doing these coin polls that you do. But recapping, Noodles winning, big Norman Price in second there. And winning was Vibesy in his class. Nismo winning, so that gamble paying off. He very much was gambling, wasn't he, like Kenny Rogers? But it's worked out for him, Wilco. He's got a podium here tonight. In fact, a win, I should say.
Yeah, no, he's done really well. So, oops, sorry, I'm trying to press buttons. Yeah, he's got a P1, got Exorcist P2, and as I said, Jim class. So now I can take a photo of the results. Beautiful. There we go. So Shauna Fuller did get the fastest lap in the end, starting last and finishing 8th. So that's probably driver of the day.
And we'll wait and see as we wait for our drivers. We've got Vibesy and Noodles coming in the where are they now? They're currently in the cool down room. They're about to join us. Whilst we're doing that, we can have a look at where we are next week. If this will work, let's have a look. So we are at Monza. That is on May the 22nd and May the 23rd for round 5 of this championship, and then Spa, and then Kyalami, and we go to America in between that. How good is that? As Vibesy has been good enough to join us. Vibesy, can you hear us?
Yeah, mate. Yeah, I got you.
Fantastic, mate. Tricky conditions would be a masterpiece of understatement here. A big hello to you, Josh. Fiddlesticks, I missed it. You'll have to go back and watch it. Someone awesome there explaining why he got in trouble. But no, Vibesy, thank you for joining us post-race. I know you're an extremely sweaty Betty after that, but talk us through the conditions and how they were tonight.
Actually, I didn't mind the wet. It was good. Just drying out. It got a bit tricky. I thought it might have dried out enough to get slicks on, but yeah, decided just to stay on the wets and pretty much burn them up at the end. So I was lucky I got a bit of practicing in wet conditions. I got on about 4 o'clock and it was teaming down, and I was lucky enough to get a bit of practice. Some of these guys probably haven't any practice in the wet here, but the winners, well done, boys. They did well.
Fantastic stuff, mate. We appreciate joining us. How do you think you're going to go next week, mate? You expecting good things for round 5 of the championship next time out?
Where's it at?
That is a good question. We are heading to Monza in Italy, mate. How do you go around there? Low downforce setup?
Yeah, mate. Yeah, if we make turn 1, I'll be happy. That'll be good.
Good stuff. Thank you for joining us, mate. All the very best, Vibesy. And we'll see you next time. One of the does he realise he's one of the founding fathers of the Kid Buyers Racing League? There from day one, and just like that, he was gone. And love you, Jenny. And no, but Nismo has joined us. And look at this. Nismo raiding us with a party of 2. Well, that is awesome stuff. And he's been good enough to join us. Nismo, the boss, is with us from Hooncore B Sports, winning the race tonight in your class, of course, mate. If you've got us there, Join us in following Nismo as well. Big shout outs to Nismo. If you're out there, don't make me come round and force you to follow that button, but hit that little love heart and you'll go straight to Nismo's websites and all of his stuff. Nismo, have you got us there?
Hey, Trev, how are you?
Fantastic, my friend. Big weekend, of course, for you. All over your social media stuff. You see me lurking there all the time, mate. But talk about the race. Tricky conditions. You made that late pit stop work, though. Talk us through it.
Yeah, but funny to go a whole weekend at Hampton with no clouds, and then to come here and it's just pissing down. Yeah, we weren't really expecting the heavy rain. Kind of caught us all a bit off guard, but I mean, what else is new? Decided to overfuel it and think, well, hey, look, rather have the extra fuel on board, not just to go the distance, but also thinking of using the weight, having the extra weight on board, bit of extra stability. Did that actually make any difference? I mean, jury's out, but hey, it makes me feel like I know what I'm talking about. And then, yeah, I managed to stretch out the fuel until slick tyres were optimum, chucked the slicks on and promptly stuck it in the wall. But hey, managed to hang on to the top of AM, which I'm pretty stoked about that, to be fair. That was hard.
No, fantastic effort, mate. We had Wilco. Wilco was jumping across, weren't you, Wilco, to check your stream to see how much fuel you had remaining, because we were keeping an eye on you when you were going to come in there and make your stop, mate. But it worked out in the end. All is well that ends well. Fantastic stuff. Great result for you tonight, mate. We'll catch you next time out at Monza.
Yeah, no, appreciate it, boys. Well, we'll be doing the jumping in the GT3 car tomorrow night, so we'll see how that one goes too.
Awesome, and that is a beautiful segue. Thank you for that, Nismo Nath. Thanks for joining us post-race. Yeah, tomorrow night we are back. GT3s around here again. Weather will get the same.
Do have noodles in here too, by the way.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, thank you, Wilco. And we do have Noodles as well, our race winner in his class, of course. 2-minute Noodles, have you got us there?
Yep, got you guys.
Fantastic stuff, mate. Talk us through the race tonight. Masterclass from you, but can't have been easy with those conditions.
Oh, to be fair, that was actually my first ever wet race on ACC, so I was pretty nervous going into it, but started off pretty slowly, but I felt like I got better towards the end of that first stint when it started to dry a little bit. Managed to jump Norm in the pits and just didn't look back from there. Although the tyres didn't, they nearly had a puncture at the end, which wasn't good. I decided to stay with the wets to the end, and the pressures were just going through the roof towards the end, so luckily they made it towards the end.
Fantastic stuff, mate. I think the gap was about 7 seconds or so to Norm. We saw you trying to go off the racing line, or a lot of drivers going off the racing line trying to cool the tyres down. But next time out, mate, where are we? Monza for round 5. How are you feeling ahead of Monza next time out?
I'm not sure with this KTM because it's pretty slow in a straight line, but we'll see how I go.
Great stuff, Noodles. Thank you for joining us, mate. Managed to negotiate the tricky conditions better than anyone, mate, in your class, and you took victory tonight. Always a pleasure, mate. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, guys. See you tomorrow. Yep, see you tomorrow night. Thanks.
Great stuff. Yes, of course. Tomorrow night, Noodles will be with us, along with many other drivers. We'll go as we come back here to do the GT3s around here.
Yeah, no, it should be another interesting night. If we get that rain stopping 10 minutes earlier or 5 minutes earlier, make it very interesting. But unfortunately, there's no control on that. It's just completely random. But yeah, good race tonight. It was quite clean for the first few laps, which was really good. And yeah, we'll see how they all go. Then next test, Monza Turn 1 is always a bit of carnage, but everyone's been doing well so far.
So the thoughts of Jason there. Don't forget, like we said, tomorrow night from 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Thank you, Chuck, as well for the background stuff and the beautiful voice that you've got within your person. We'll catch you again tomorrow night.
Yeah, sorry for being a little bit MIA this one, but yeah, no, good racing overall. I was watching that in the background where I could, but yeah, looking forward to tomorrow night. GT3s back at it again.
Great stuff. You can MIA Me anytime, that's for sure. But that's all we've got time for, ladies and gentlemen. Always a pleasure. We'll catch you next time around, being tomorrow night, of course, for the GT3s around the Red Bull Ring. Be kind to one another. We'll see you next time. But for now, it's Auf Wiedersehen. Goodbye. That's goodbye in German. We'll see you tomorrow night.